What's up, sports fans? It's your man D back. Speak Your Mind Sports Talk. All right, check it out, man. Hey, I put 7:30 on that doggone live, but it's PM, so we might get some people coming in a little late. But what's up? What's up, everybody? Missed you guys yesterday morning. Long weekend. Very, 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 very long weekend. So that's pretty much what was going on there. I couldn't even get up, to tell you the truth. But anyhow, no, I had a lot of stuff to take care of this weekend, business-wise and everything else. But back to boxing, baby. It is Tuesday morning. Meant to see you guys Monday morning. But we got some stuff to talk about. The fights this weekend. Wasn't really a whole lot of action this weekend. Slow this weekend. You know, we did get to see Amanda Serrano fight. If you guys watched that, Daniel Dubois quick bout. Didn't take long for that. And this young guy, Montana Love, coming into his own. He wants to move up. He wants to fight Tank. He wants Josh Taylor. Is he moving too soon? Who knows? For Tank, you know, never can tell. Never can tell. But anyhow, let's get into it, man. We got some stuff to talk about this morning. I'm gonna start off with Conor Benn. Conor Benn. So Eddie Hearn, of course, is saying that Conor Benn, he's got plans for Conor Benn. My thing is this: what plans? What are the plans? Because he fights Sebastian Formella, and then he fought Vargas right after Samuel Vargas. Now, here's the thing: Samuel Vargas is tough as nails, but so is Sebastian Formella, because that guy could take a lot of punishment. But Samuel Vargas is tough as nails. Nobody expected Conor Benn to go in there and wipe him out in one round like that. However, he did, and now he was supposed to be fighting Adrian Granados next, which I didn't really like that fight, because if we're going to start talking about Conor Benn, being the next guy, the next guy from welterweight anyway out of the UK, then he needs to step up the level of competition, because fighting Formella, Vargas, and then Adrian Granados, and then you got Virgil over here fighting Maurice Hooker, and these fights. LT, mi hermano, what's good with you? What's good? You got Jaron and his boots fighting the Lipinets, and these guys, they're moving in a different path. If Eddie Hearn wants to stake a claim with Conor Benn, look at these guys. Now, Sean Porter is tied up with Terrence Crawford, so we know that's not going to happen. That thing is in purse bid. Pretty sure somebody's going to bid on that fight. You can take Sean Porter off that list. Amir Khan is talking about fighting Kell Brook, and I wouldn't be interested in seeing Conor Benn fight a chinny-ass Amir Khan anyway. Amir Khan's old, bro. He's on his way out the door. He and Brook is finished, and that's what makes their fight interesting. These are both fighters that used to be one at one point in time, but they're finished now. And then there's Adrian Broner, and Eddie Hearn's been talking about that. Like, he likes the Broner fight, I don't like the Broner fight, because this is not something that gets Conor Benn to that next level. Broner is past it, on his way out the door and trying to do anything he can to earn money. So these three guys up here that Eddie was talking about, and recently he was saying that he liked the Broner fight. I don't really much like the Broner fight. King, what's good with your brother? What's good? We got to get, let's see Conor Benn go fight the guy Custio Clayton that Sergey Lipinets fought. That's a bit. Let's see him fight Jamal James, Blair the Flair Cobb. These are the kind of guys, if you're going to step it up to that next level. These are the type of guys that Eddie Hearn needs to be putting Conor Benn in the ring with. Let me see. Yakeem, you got time, bro. Let me drop this link. Send this invite to you, Yakeem. If you got time, if not, it's all good. That's your invite this morning. Everybody else, if your team can't come on, first come, first serve. What's good with you, bro? You can come holler at your boy DJ. So back to it. So we need to see Conor Benn get in there with someone a little bit better. I like Conor Benn, but as we've seen so many times before, if these fighters don't fight the right level of competition, bro, they're going nowhere. They're going to get in there with a fighter that's halfway decent, B level. Doesn't even have to be an elite or one of the best, but they'll get in there with a fighter that's B level, and he'll expose him. He'll expose him because he's fighting a lot of, B level competition or guys on their way out, guys past it. That's not going to cut it, man. And he's supposed to be one of the up and comers. So Hearn's got to do a lot better. Andre Southgate in the building. What's good with you, Andre? Ness Mendoza. What's good, Ness? What's good with you? I don't really want Conor Benn and Adrian Broner. What that would do for Conor Benn is the same thing these other kids are doing. And once again, Ness Mendoza with Devin Haney and Tank Davis fighting Gamboa, Chris Colbert even. These fights, bro, it's just a name. Adrian Broner's not going to prepare Conor Benn for anything. Adrian Broner struggled with the guy, Rodriguez, who was not even a known fighter when he came back, for the court case that he had to get that money established. He fought the kid, Rodriguez, and he gave him a hell of a fight. Man, Conor Benn will beat Adrian Broner up. Broner has been out of the ring too long. And once again, my man, Ness Mendoza. Appreciate you, Ness. Yakeem says, I'm getting ready for work right now, but let me hop on tomorrow for sure, my guy. I appreciate that. Oh, yeah, for sure. Anytime, Yakeem, anytime. So now it's an open link. First come, first serve. Anybody that want to jump on the panel this morning, one person, unless I decide to break the rules. Most of the time, if our rival comes in here, a couple other people I will. But anyhow, yeah, no doubt, you can. So who should we get next? Whatever happened with the Avanesian fight, man? That's a fight that need to happen. Okay, we talking Adrian Broner, Amir Khan, Sean Porter. Sean Porter, actually, yes, I would love to see that fight. I think Sean Porter beats Conor Benn in a split decision. Or, Conor could be Sean. That would be a valid win. That would put his name, that would stake his claim. So Sean Porter on this list of guys here, I'm perfectly fine with. Amir Khan, no. He's past it. He's chinny. It does nothing for me. It's just the name. And Adrian Broner, he's not chinny or anything, but he's past it. He's older, and he's been very, very inactive, and so have Khan. So, no, that doesn't do anything for me. Sean Porter, yeah, but Sean's tied up. And even if Sean doesn't get the Terrence Crawford fight, I very seriously doubt he's going to go look in Conor Benn's direction. Martin Ramos, mi hermano, what's good with you? What's good? So, yeah, but again, Eddie Hearn, he's like every other promoter. And let me ask you guys this, when we see fighters in America, especially the PBC, but American fighters, when we see American fighters doing this, fighting guys on the way out or older guys, the fan base all around, bro, we know how they do. They trash him. Look how much Tank gets trashed. You got to step up the level of competition. They used to trash Errol the True Spence. Why is it with Eddie Hearn and this Conor Benn nonsense? No, this is garbage as well. It's the same type of stuff, and it's what I was talking about, the other morning about. Yeah, the PBC does a lot of garbage, but a lot of these other networks and promoters do the same exact thing, bro. This is what Hearn is doing with Conor Benn right now. Either it's try to propel these guys into stardom and put them in these fights that's just tomfoolery, or, put them in there with the right fighter and try to move them up the line. Like, I like the way Conor Benn was going, but it seems like it's getting ready to be, this roller coaster here. He's going up. Now he's going to take a step down. Like I said, man, Blair the Flair Cobb, Jamal James, David Avenesian. Those are fights. Castillo Clayton. Those are fights that interest me with Conor Benn. To see what he can do with all of those guys. Jamal James and that height and that reach. Blair the Flair Cobb and his elusiveness and quickness. And he has a little pop with him too. David Avenesian, I'm pretty sure everyone wanted to see that fight after the Josh Kelly foolery. Look, man, there's plenty of names for you. And Castillo Clayton did a damn good job against Sergey Lipinets, this guy out of Canada. And so I think that that's a valid fight. But these are fights that can establish Conor Benn, but not only establish him, but get him prepared for the higher level competition. Because fighting Adrian Broner and Amir Khan, that's not going to get you prepared. Sean Porter, I don't think that necessarily gets you prepared for any particular fighter, because Sean is a style that is so unorthodox. The way he runs up in there, it gives every fighter problem. You can't really train for that kind of stuff with Sean Porter, and he's so tough. I know Conor Benn hits hard, but we still have to gauge his power, because when it comes to that, who's he faced? These are all the same questions, man. All right, guys, let me move on. Anybody, again, can click that link if you want to come up here and join. Just one person. So Montana Love, pretty good performance this weekend, but Montana Love, he wants Tank or Josh Taylor. Now, we know right off the bat he gets neither of those guys, especially Josh. Josh has a mandatory to satisfy against Jack Catterall. Tank Davis is an enigma right now. Floyd's going to have to do something with Tank Davis. He just dropped his only official belt. Let's pay attention to this, guys. Tank just dropped his only official belt, which means he ain't going back down to 130, okay? 135, 140. Now, I'm not too sure at all about Tank at 140. I think he needs to compete at 135. I don't mind him dropping that belt at 130. He probably should have been out of that weight class after a while anyway. But this kid, Montana Love, bro, he had a nice, decent performance last. No, that was a good performance. But Ivan Baranchyk is shot, bro. He's shot. Look, we could see that Zepeda fight took everything out of both of them, because Zepeda, his last fight, looked shot. So I'm not trying to take anything from this kid, Montana Love, but let's be honest, bro. Ivan Baranchyk is shot. And I think that this fight with Montana Love showed us that Ivan Baranchyk is shot. Andre says 135 for sure. Yeah, for sure. That's where Tank should be at, 135. 140, I'm not too sure. And guys like this, he's not even, like, to me, that's too much risk, too little reward. Now, just looking at Montana Love in that Baranchyk fight, I say he beats the hell out of Mario Barrios too. Mario Barrios ain't gonna beat this guy Love. So I get it. Okay, start yelling out Tank's name. But, bro, you have no name associated with you, no clout, no status, which means no Floyd Mayweather. No way. And you're dangerous, He's a dangerous opponent. So I would like to see this guy get in there with like a Devin Haney Jr., right? Devin Haney at 140, Montana Love, because that would be difficult for him because Devin Haney can box. Devin ain't gonna hurt him. No. And he could hurt Devin. That would be a good fight. And Devin and Tio need to just go ahead and move up to 140, bro. Neither of them really doing anything else at 135, but that's another story. We'll talk about that another day. However, I don't know what's good next for this kid, Montana Love, but he's like 26, 27. He looks good. He's fast. He was pretty accurate. Very, very good, impressive performance up against Ivan Baranchyk. But again, that's Ivan Baranchyk. And before you start calling out the top guys like Josh Taylor, look, could he get past Regis? Could he get past Jose Ramirez? Could he get past Sabriel Matias? I'm not too sure if he can get past those guys. Or go fight Jose Cepeda, which we see what he did to Baranchyk. And I wasn't really impressed with Cepeda and Lundy, but Cepeda, that, like I said, that Baranchyk Cepeda fight took a whole lot out of both of them. But let's keep an eye on this kid, Montana Love, and see what they do with him, where he goes. He looks sharp, though. He looks sharp in the ring. I caught the fights the next day because I was really busy. Martin, he said, Mr. Martin Ramos, yes, no doubt. So I'm not going to speak too much on Montana Love because I wanted to jump on this here. Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor. So after she won her fight on this Jake Paul card, she was saying how no, she don't want Katie Taylor next. And everybody's like, oh, this is the fight for you. This is the biggest fight. But I can't say that I blame Amanda Serrano in this situation here. Okay, so we do know the first time that she was supposed to fight Katie Taylor, the fight didn't materialize. And it was money issues. And more on the Serrano side, you have to hold her accountable for that. I guess pricing herself out or whatever you want to call it. So now when, she has this impressive performance against Mikado, and which was another champion. So she unified titles there. And it was a very one-sided fight. Of course, the question looms, and it's going to come, because these ladies are at the top. It's Clarissa Shields, Samantha Arano, Katie Taylor. These ladies are at the top of their game. So the question is going to loom: Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano. Let's get it. However, Amanda Serrano, what she said, I don't look at it as an excuse. I don't think she's scared. I don't think she's ducking the fight. What she says to me makes perfect sense. Now, she doesn't want to fight Katie Taylor next. Wayne Hennessy, what's good with you, Wayne? Been a while. Good to see you, brother. She doesn't want to fight Katie Taylor next because she wants to establish her own name. She wants to go 4-belt undisputed in her own weight class before she fights Katie Taylor. And to tell you the truth, on this situation, I'm kind of with Amanda Serrano, right? She's not like one of these young fighters that haven't done much, just demanding everything. She's already established. Just like I said, this is a lady that is amongst the top. When they talk about names, who's the best in boxing, they mention Clarissa Shields, Savannah Marshall, Katie Taylor. Well, Amanda Serrano, Cecilia Breakers. So Amanda Serrano was right in there with the names being mentioned. And so she's not like the Teo and the Devin and these guys just coming up, haven't done a lot. She's put in her work. But the problem with the initial fight with Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano was money. They didn't want to come up off enough money, which, pleased her. So if she goes and she establishes her own name and not try to get into a fight where Katie's got the severe A side and Eddie and them can play with this lady's money and try to lowball her, because I think all of the ladies are getting lowballed, to tell you the truth. They deserve to be paid more money. It's just not the awareness, and the fan base is not there for their sport to produce that type of money. And I think maybe it'll help by putting them on these men's cards and stuff like that. However, she wants to go establish her own name, go 4-belt undisputed in her own weight class. She says she just took out another one. She wants to go collect those belts and then come to the fight with Katie Taylor as the 4-belt undisputed champion versus 4-belt undisputed champion. That way y'all can't dog me with the money side of it. You understand what I'm saying? Of course, Katie's still going to be A side. Collectively, Katie Taylor and Clarissa Shields are, I guess, considered the number one ladies in boxing. People go back and forth. Clarissa's been involved with that FLA, PLA, whatever that MMA league is. But I think it's not a bad move. I don't think that it's an excuse, and I don't really feel like Amanda Serrano is ducking or running from Katie Taylor. She actually said she wants to fight Katie Taylor, so she wants that fight. She just would rather establish herself first, get the 4-belt undisputed, and I don't blame her because Eddie Hearn, again, is like every other promoter, right? He's going to try to maximize the amount that he gets for Katie Taylor and, of course, himself because he gets a cut of that, and then minimize what they have to pay to Serrano. And this is what happened in that last fight. And I think that Eddie was pretty fair, However, it wasn't enough for Serrano. So she can demand more. She can demand a lot more if she goes undisputed and then come back to that fight and fight Katie Taylor. She had a beautiful performance against Yamela, or I can't, anyway, Mercado. Mercado was her last name. I don't know how to pronounce her first name, but it was a good performance. What we expected to see from Serrano. And I don't think, going after Katie's the bigger woman and she's a beast. So, it's got to be worth Amanda Serrano's while. It's got to be worth her while to get in there with Katie Taylor and risk it all. Ness says Serrano's thick, Mr. Diaz. Yeah. I know, man, but I think you mean thick here, right? That's what I'm taking it as. But I think she got a point, Ness. I think she got a point because in the negotiations right now for their fight, Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano, in those negotiations, Eddie Hearn and Katie Taylor has all the power. She doesn't really have Intangible. What's good? Intangible, come up here, bro. Let me drop this link. I know you ain't doing nothing right now, Intangible. No, I'm playing. Anyway, Yukeem couldn't make it, Intangible. He on his way to work, so if you want to come join me. But Intangible says Montana Love shouldn't get a title shot yet. No, I don't think so either. Fight Robert Easter, work the IBF ranks, and fight the winner of that is a dangerous fight. That is a fight. Intangible. I would pick Matias. Sabriel Matias is going to be a problem. I would like to see Sabriel Matias against Jose Ramirez or Regis Prograis. I would like to see that fight, man. Sabriel Matias is a problem. Ponce for the vacant IBF when Josh moves up. Yeah. If Josh moves up, because he's, if he goes up. Look, I don't see there's no point in Josh. Look, if Josh Taylor Intangible is reigning basically at 140, and Crawford and these other guys aren't going to be available for him to just go up and fight. Like when Maurice Hooker went up to fight, Virgil was ready to fight. If that's not the case, Josh shouldn't go up. And Josh already stated he wants to go up to fight a champion. Crawford, Spence, especially Crawford, 4-belt undisputed, both of them at 140. I don't think Josh is in line to go up and take any unnecessary risks, like go up fighting Boots Ennis or go up fighting Virgil Ortiz, which I believe Josh is totally confident in himself. He definitely has the dimensions. He has the dimensions of Errol Spence, Virgil, and those guys. He's 5'10". Actually, he's taller than a lot of those guys. He's way taller than Crawford. So, not way taller, but he's taller than Crawford. Got long height on Crawford, but not those long arms. Crawford has some long arms. Either way, Josh Taylor desired to go up to fight as for a champion. Other than that, there ain't nobody beat him at 140. I'm not gonna say it's nobody that's gonna beat him because I think the Regis Prograde rematch, fire, and Jose Ramirez could actually get in there and improve some things. Robert's a great trainer, so but if he can't go get Crawford or one of the champions, he should just stay there. Sabriel Matias would be a dangerous fight for Josh Taylor, Regis, any of these guys. But this guy, Montana Love, I don't know, man. You ain't going to get up in there and stop Sabriel Matias like that, first and foremost. This guy has a chin out of this world. That dude is tough as nails, man. He takes some terrible shots and keep coming. And he can deliver the music, too. So that's a dangerous fight right there. But if he was intangible to get past Sabriel Matias, big. That would be huge. Then he would be, I would put him there like, okay, yeah, this kid can cause some problems. But of course, we would have to see that first. You know what I mean? His fight last night, Baranchik, again, Baranchik is done. He's done, if you ask me. The Boxing Lounge, what's good? What's good with you? Good to see you. Fish, there he is, Fish in the building. Serrano Legacy is beating up on smaller, less skilled women. Fish, you are one negative guy. She's small, dude. She is not big. She's not a weight bully. She's not oversized. Cut it out, Fish. Cut it out. You're a biased man, Fish. You biased. You biased for the UK fighters. I figured you out, Fish. What's up with you, my man? Fish in the building. Nah, I don't think that like I said, Fish, she says she wants the Taylor fight. So this is not a thing where she's trying to get out of, but she wants to stake her own claim. Look, it's better. It's a better situation, Fish, to be honest, if she gets 4-belt undisputed and then fights Katie Taylor. Then it's undisputed versus undisputed. It's more money involved. They can definitely push that fight better. But it just allows her more leverage at the negotiation table, Fish. She doesn't have any leverage right now at the negotiation table. She comes through with 4-belt undisputed, and she's already staked her claim. This is the thing. It's just like Katie Taylor, Clarissa's here, and she's on that next level right under them. And so she's established herself, but to come to the negotiation table versus Katie Taylor with 4-belt undisputed, Fish, then Eddie Hearn can't push, the negotiations the way he did the last time in their fight when they were supposed to fight, and then fight not materialized because Serrano wasn't happy. She wanted more. And, I'm not saying, I think, like I said, just talking to Julius and getting all the details of that, I think that we have to blame the Serrano side for that fight not happening initially. But even still, doesn't matter, bro. She gets 4-belt undisputed and then come to fight Katie Taylor. This is going to be all, the fight will be larger. She'll make more money and she'll have more leverage at the negotiation table. That's it. He said that bird came up a weight yesterday. Fishy crazy. Tangible said Josh Taylor is a sicko. Yeah, he might take Virgil for the fight for the hell of it, but he might also stay at 140, wait for Teofimo and Tank. He keeps the 140 regular title to build his profile. Yeah, he has massive options right now. Massive options. Yeah. But Teofimo's a sicko, right? Intangible. Because he's talking about going to fight Josh. Tank Davis is a sicko because forget about Floyd and Ellaby. I believe Tank really does want to fight Josh Taylor now. I think he does. I think Tank himself are tired of the facade fights. Yeah, he's making money and everything, but I think Tank wants to step it up. I'm not on Tank bandwagon. I'm not riding with Tank because I still don't trust Leonard Ellaby and Floyd Mayweather if they will put him in those fights. But I think Tank does have a desire to do more. But Teo wants to fight Josh, and I think that's a sick move. you know. But I agree, Intangible. If he was just to go out there and fight Virgil or Boots for the hell of it, you know, and he could win those fights though. If he just goes in there and beats him up, that puts a bad name on Terrence Crawford. It doesn't put anything on Errol Spence. People say, "Oh, well, it puts a bad name on Spence too." No, it don't, because Spence has the options, right? He was about to fight Pacquiao. He had the eye injury. He fought Danny Garcia. He fought Sean Porter. Spence has the option. Crawford doesn't. So if Josh was to come up and take these guys while you sitting around Bob Arum lowballing Sean Porter, you don't have a fight. You're not fighting anyone of level, close to your level, or top guys at 145. That will put a stain on Terrence Crawford if Josh was just to come up there and start doing some things like that. Now, and I believe Joshua, I'm with you, Intangible. I believe he's a nut. He's willing to fight anybody, but, you know, that's a good thing. Hey, Hobbs, what's good? Serrano beat up somebody, grandma. She was a champion, A-Hobbs. You UK guys, man, stop it. I know what this is all about, A-Hobbs and Fish. I know what it's all about. This is about that bias, that UK bias. You guys cut it out. G-Man boxing in the building. What's good, G-Man? Hey, y'all know what I always say. If you haven't subscribed to G-Man Boxing, what the hell are you waiting on? It's perfect channel. Beautiful over there. What's up, G-Man, my brother? Less American talk, blah, blah, blah. More action where the players at over there. Oh, man, that's funny. He said, I like Serrano, but her team move real funny with. Oh, for sure. Hey, you just came in, and I was talking about that earlier, and I was like, you know, with the initial fight that they were supposed to have, yeah, we have to put that on the Serrano side of things, not Katie. So I'm definitely not blaming her for that. I'm with you there. Serrano and those guys were the problem, and it was money. They wanted more money, probably, you know, overpricing themselves, right? She had an opportunity to take the fight, turn it down, and, you know, like I said, Julius explained it all to me. So I'm with you. We have to, the way they moved during that first negotiation, yeah, was I'm on the Serrano side of things, that's why the fight didn't materialize. However, my point is that it didn't materialize. Whether she was overpricing herself or not, she wanted more, right? Because again, when we talk about the top ladies, she's on that list. You know, you talk about the top 5 ladies in women's boxing, Amanda Serrano is on that list. So Celia Breakers took the 2 losses back to back, right? She once was, but she's not now. And Serrano is. Marshall, Taylor, Shields, you know. And if she gets 4-belt undisputed AOPS, then that's a different negotiation setting, right? Because she's coming in with more leverage. So I get you. It was in the first, you know, negotiation, the first sit down to try to make that fight happen. Yeah, it was on them. He said, D, did you see Anthony Yard versus Putter? Yeah. Look, man, Yard, I was interested in Yard at one point, G-Man boxing. I'm just not anymore, bro. I'm just so past it with Anthony Yard, to tell you the truth. Martin Ramos, mi hermano, what's good with you?
Hey, what's up, D? Good morning.
Good
Ain't
morning.
nobody wanted to come in, so you know, I'm driving to work, so let me just talk to D a little bit. So,
Hey, man, I appreciate you. No, man, you know, just what do you think about Amanda Serrano when she says she don't want Taylor next? She wants to clean out her division and then come fight Taylor. I'm with it. I don't really
yeah,
have a problem.
I don't have a problem with that. But the situation that she getting criticized so much is if you listen to Ring IQ, because he's big on women boxing. I don't know if it was according to him. The situation was that she signed like a 3-fight deal with Eddie,
Yeah.
and the third, you know, there are 2 fights, and then the third one's supposed to be the fight with Katie Taylor. Then somehow I don't know what happened.
She scarfed
It,
about
be,
the money. See, this
it
is the thing.
became, yeah, she got an advance, right?
Right.
and and then she backed out of the fight. So
Right.
it's like it didn't end well, you know.
Right. Because see, so she did the 3-fight deal. ran through the other opponents, and when it came to the fight, well, you signed for this fight. You can't wait until the last fight after you take it in advance and then say, nah, I should get a little more money. Which, here's the problem with that situation. That makes it all her and her team's fault when you do it like that, because you made the deal, right? But at the same time, she actually did deserve more than they were going to give her. But even still, you made the deal. That's like me signing a contract. I used to paint, right? I used to be a commercial painter. So that's like me signing a contract to paint a house for $3,700, right? And I signed the contract and they give me $1,000 advance. And then I come back and say, nah, 37 ain't enough, man. I only need 5,000 for this house. Well, that's BS. That's complete BS, bro. You can't do that. And that's what Serrano did. So I was just telling Aops earlier, I blame her team for that initial negotiation setting. However, in my same analogy with the house painting, what if I went back and looked at the house and like, well, damn, this is going to need to be sanded. I'm going to have to sand that whole side, right? And if I have to sand the whole side, then I have to prep the whole side again before I paint it. Okay, this is more time, more hours. Well, you should have thought about that before you made the deal. Same thing with Serrano. You should have thought about that before you made the freaking deal. You know what I mean?
That was bad business on their part, you know. Yeah. You can't do that on Eddie, you know. Even though, you know, the girls don't get paid much, but still, if you, I don't know, like, you should like thought about that before you signed that contract.
Before you signed the contract, and if it wasn't enough, then you know. So they clearly priced themselves out initially. But I'm on some Amanda Serrano's side in this, in her sentiment with this, because if she collects 4-belt undisputed in her weight class, then she comes back to the negotiation table with more leverage. And this is a money game. And like you said, though, none of these ladies are getting paid their worth. That's why Clarissa Shields messing around in MMA. They're not getting paid their worth. So we do understand that they should get paid more. If she comes back to the negotiation table with that type of leverage, even though Eddie Hearn and them had that bad experience with her, that's still a fight that they'll be willing to make, because it'll be huge. You know what I mean?
And if you know what we're trying to do here is lift women's boxing, you know, that's you make that fight.
That you gotta make that fight.
Undisputed against undisputed is beautiful.
That's right. And Eddie knows that. And that's why that will give her supreme leverage to come back into the negotiations. But they are gonna have to settle for that advance. Like, yeah, we're gonna have to, take that out first or something, because we already gave it. Ain't gonna be no advances this time, because we know how y'all roll.
Yeah.
Ain't gonna be no advances. So yeah. So
AD, the guys saying that she fought her grandma. That girl's 20 years old.
Look, man, that's the UK. That's the UK hate. Don't pay no attention.
Jamile Mercado, she's 20. 2021, I think it is.
Yeah,
it's a little girl.
It's funny as hell. All right, man. Next topic. Let's move. Look, man. No, I don't want to do Daniel, because I got a little more to say about him. Let's do this next topic first. Jake Paul. That's right, guys. I'm talking about this stuff now.
Shit.
I'm happy about this one, though. I'm happy to talk about this. This fool talking retirement and all. This is what I kept saying about this kid, and how this is all can fall apart, And it's really unfortunate for Showtime, because they just signed him to this contract. They're trying to get these gimmick fights off. But listen, man, this guy cap. Like they say, you don't play boxing, right? This is a sport, it's a real sport. Jake Paul running around saying, bro, he's not a boxer. He's an entertainer. He's never a boxer. Go ahead.
He's on the right pace to fight Canelo in 3 years, though.
Right. You remember that? Yeah. Canelo would have beat that boy senseless, man. But, I don't care about no size or none of that. That fool, his brother is bigger than him. And Floyd Mayweather was beating the hell out of him. You know what Canelo would do to somebody like Jake Paul, man? Oh, my gosh. But
Floyd's not considered a puncher.
Canelo, Martin. Let's not even go to Canelo. This is why I said Tommy Fury would beat that dude up. Because see, Tommy Fury, although he's fought low-level competition, he's fought low-level boxers. Jake Paul ain't even fought a boxer. Not one boxer yet. This is the closest guy to a boxer. And Tyron Woodley was abysmal in the UFC coming toward the end as far as throwing them hands. He was getting beat up. He was gun shy. All of that. And he was chinny, right? Tommy Fury would have beat this guy up. Jake Paul in a Fugazi victory was exposed, highly exposed in this fight.
Them ropes saved him from getting knocked down. He got hit. He would have got hit in the middle of the ring. Would have been on the floor.
Yeah, I think Tommy Fury stops him.
Yeah, me too.
I think Tommy Fury stops him. So this whole Jake Paul facade persona, this is gonna die down. Here's the bigger thing, though. What is this gonna do to all of this gimmick fight situation? I said this too. I said, okay, we got to accept it. It's good for boxing, but it's a fad. Fads come and go. This could be a crutch in this whole gimmick fight because Jake Paul was sitting at the top of this fad coming up, these gimmick fights. He was sitting at the top. You understand? Well, he's talking retirement. And check this out. This comes from Nate Diaz, guys. This is still about this. Nate Diaz summed it up perfectly. These guys.
I think Nate Diaz has a shot. If you don't, I think Nate has a shot.
Who against Jake?
Yeah, if he don't get cut early.
I think Jake's too big. Nate can box, but
his gas tank is not that good. You saw that.
It
was somebody wasn't even putting a real pressure on him. He got tired.
Yeah, and he bleeds too easy. He bleeds too easy. A cut will open up, and this is boxing, bro. You know, after a bad cut opens up in boxing, they stopping that. So Nate ain't beating him. You know, with a little more size on him, you know who would beat the hell out of Jake Paul if he had more size? Max Holloway would beat the hell out of him in the boxing ring. He don't got enough size. But this also is something interesting now. Since I just wanted to show that because Nate always talking shit. But this is something also interesting. Anderson Silva. We saw Anderson Silva fight Julio Cesar Chavez. Anderson did pretty good, you know, moving around. Cesar Chavez couldn't hit him. Jake Paul with that sloppy right hand. Anderson, I got him getting away from that, rolling that all night long. Anderson Silva wants some of that Jake Paul money. I think Anderson beats him.
I think Anderson beats him. Because he was fresh in the Chavez fight. He didn't get tired. He looked the younger man in that fight. Chavez is 35 years old. And he got stopped.
Yeah, Joshua was good. Yeah. I think he beats him, bro. What do you say, Al? He said Tommy got knockouts on real boxing. Yeah, Tommy Fury, yeah. I think Tommy puts him down, man. Puts him down. Jake needs to quit while he's ahead. He should quit. Look, he made mega money. This dude made 5-6 times money than all of these boxers out here, bro. He's made plenty of money in this sport already. He already had plenty of money from his social media.
Hey, D, you know what's amazing?
What's up?
You know how the only thing that Tyron Woodley needed to win that fight was a jab, and he probably would have stopped him.
Yeah, but
Tyron threw the jab Tyron threw the jab 3 times and landed a stiff one in his face 3 times only. He didn't jab. He would have jabbed. I think he would have beat the guy if he had a consistent jab. But he didn't throw punches.
The thing with Woodley is when he went to the UFC, Woodley came into the UFC as a wrestler, right? He was a wrestler, and he found out that he had hands and he was dangerous, you know. But he was never a fighter. He's never really a striker, like known strikers like Machida or Max or Conor or Anderson Silva. He was never a known striker. He was just able to strike and able to get these guys. They were worried about takedowns. You don't have to worry about takedowns in boxing. These guys in the UFC was worried about takedowns, and Tyron Woodley would start hitting him with some punches and put him away. But he was never really an efficient striker. So yeah, I agree. That's right. Hey, Tommy might put Jake in the hospital for real. Yeah, I agree. Joshua Littlejohn said Jake needs to fight Chavez Jr. That would be Man, Chavez Jr. Chavez Jr. beat him up. As bad as he is, and as much as he quits, Chavez Jr. because Jake just don't have the skills, and that shit was exposed here, bro. I think Chavez Jr. will beat him up. You know, Chavez Jr. is a quitter, but he's a boxer. He's an official. You know how many fights Chavez Jr. has? Real boxers.
You know what's funny? When Jake is clout chasing Canelo, he always talks about Abney Yildirim. Like Yildirim is the only guy Canelo fought in the last 4 fights.
And he demolished Amanda Yildirim. Amanda Yildirim will beat the hell out of Jake Paul.
Yeah, he's always he always talking down on that guy. That guy beat the shit out of him.
The Amanda Yildirim will beat the hell out. After what we just witnessed last night, Amanda Yildirim will come in there and probably knock Jake Paul ass out. You know what I mean? But all right, so the last topic is Daniel Dubois, which was the main topic I want to talk about. Listen, Daniel Dubois, another impressive first round knockout, right? Guys, he came back off of the Joe Joyce win, you know, demolished Bogdan Dino, right?
Bogdan Dino.
And then he comes to this guy, Joe Casimiro, or whoever this guy is. And is this just deja vu from what we've seen before? This is the type of stuff that got Daniel Dubois into trouble in that Joe Joyce fight. You know, Frank, it seems like to me that Frank is just going to come back and do the same nonsense with Dubois as he did before. He's not moving this kid the right way. I mean, exactly. This was no competition at all. And this is why he was beaten up so fiercely by Joe Joyce. Because Frank's not putting him in the fights he needs to be put in, bro. You don't go from a fight like, okay, go in the fight Bogdan Dino after that eye injury. I get that. Build your confidence back up. But you go uphill from Bogdan Dino. I said this when they announced this fight. I said this is level out or a worse opponent. You have to go uphill in this sport, especially if you're supposed to be a contender. He ain't fought the guys prior to Joe Joyce. You didn't have any valid competition. Like, let's keep it real, bro. Nathan Gorman was probably his best fight before he fought Joe Joyce. You're not going to get there fighting guys like Casimiro, Bogdan Dino, and Frank's got to find this kid a good fighter. He'll get in there with another good fighter and get beat up again. That's exactly what anybody that can take his punch, like Joe Joyce could take his punch. I think at this point, and I know it's early and people might fuss about this, but if I saw Daniel Dubois fighting our young guy, Jared Anderson, the real big baby, I think Anderson wins.
I think so too.
Anderson wins because Jared Anderson can take a punch. He's shown that. But this kid can box. He's got head movement. He don't just stay on center line. He uses his feet. You understand? That kid, Jared Anderson, can box. I think Jared Anderson beats Daniel Dubois. And I don't think Frank is serving him well or doing any good by putting him in fights like this. It's almost deja vu, bro. The same nonsense we've seen with this kid before, which is why he got beaten up by Joe Joyce.
It's like he went up, he lost, and then he went back down. So
right.
He went one step forward and 4 backwards.
Exactly.
They got it fighting these guys that are like, you know, it's like foregone conclusion type fights, you know.
Yeah,
you should put him in against the I don't know, the top guys, you know, guys that had already lost, but you know, have a reputation and are up there, you know.
Top 15, top 20 at least.
Yeah.
You gotta fight top 15, top 20 guys at least. Who is this Joe Casimiro or Samaro, whatever? Who is this guy? I didn't even know anything
I
about
never heard of that dude.
Never heard of him. And Dubois just went in there and absolutely demolished that guy, bro. It wasn't even hard. It kind of reminded me of that Ricardo Schneider's. Remember that guy, Ricardo Schneider's way smaller, didn't have anything for Dubois. That's what this was. Again, he got the confidence builder, in my opinion, in the Bogdan Dino fight. That was to build your confidence back up, right? You go up from there. He went down. He went down here from Bogdan Dinu.
You gotta step it up a level right after that.
You got to, bro. Be frank. What's good? What's good? Box fans in the building. Fish says Dubois thick as two planks. He ain't got the intelligence to step up in class. Fish this is the thing though, Fish. And I will agree, his ring IQ ain't really, up to par. He's still not utilizing that head. But it's because Fish, how will he learn if he keeps fighting low-level competition? That's part of the problem. I'm blaming Frank Warren. I've been blaming Frank the whole time. And I told everybody Frank was going to get him beat against Joe Joyce because he wasn't ready. This is Frank Warren, bro. Look at how Bob is moving Big Baby Anderson. Big Baby Anderson has taken level of fights of Daniel Dubois, and he ain't been in nowhere near as long as Dubois. He's already fought those level of fighters. You got to move these guys up the right way, bro. And Frank's just not moving him right. And if Fish, if you're doing mathematics and you just keep doing multiplication and division, then you'll never know anything about geometry or because you've never moved forward.
They moving him like
that level of mathematics that you were at. This is what's going on with Dubois. He's not moving forward. He's just staying in multiplication and division. You got to move it up, bro. And Frank's not moving him up. He's not giving them. So if you don't learn, Fish, then where's the ring IQ going to come from?
They're moving him like they're moving yard.
Exactly. And again, Frank Warren. They're both his fighters. You're exactly right, Martin. But they're
moving him the same way. I noticed that since they turned pro, both of those guys, they're moving them the right way. I thought it was the same person. That's how even they're moving those guys, bro.
Yeah. Frank he does a horrible job. Before I talked about it before Dubois fought Joe Joyce. Joyce had already fought Brian Jennings, which is a huge test for anybody pretty much at heavyweight. And Dubois was Ricardo Schneider's Tete, Fujimoto, these guys like that. You look at Anthony Yarde before he fought Kovalev. 5 of the fighters he fought before he fought Kovalev had all been knocked out multiple times in their fights. Except one of them, and the one he was knocked out once in a fight before Yarde, only once. But this dude had literally, Martin, a 27% knockout ratio. Means he had no power. These were the 5 guys that Yarde fought before stepping in the ring with Kovalev. And then look at who Dubois fought before stepping in the ring with Joe Joyce. Frank is not preparing these guys right. And it's the same nonsense.
He fought the Japanese guy, right?
Yeah, Fujimoto. That's what I was talking about. He fought Fujimoto.
Wasn't that guy like a middleweight?
Fujimoto was a guy who was he was a super middleweight, and he got stopped. Who was that? He got stopped by I don't know, man. I can't even remember. But yes, he was a super middleweight at one point. They came up and fought freaking Daniel Dubois. Ricardo Schneider's was a light heavyweight cruiserweight. He was terrified when he stepped in the ring. And Ebenezer Tete was a damn community champion. Like he was in this community program, boxing program that only fought locally. That's who Ebenezer Tete was. Those are the 3 fights before he fought Joe Joyce, bro.
He was like a PAL champion.
Yeah, bro. Like seriously, it's crazy. Adari, what's good? Adari said Daniel Dubois versus Brian Jennings or Jonathan Rice. Right, damn right. That's what we need, bro. We need that. That would be good. Hell, put him in there with Oscar Rivas. Put him in there with Oscar Rivas, bro. Right.
Probably loses to Oscar.
Hey man, who knows? D needs to at least go.
Yeah, but even if he loses, he need to fight better opposition.
No, that's too much. That's too much right there, Joshua. We got to get a little more because Takam ain't easy, bro. Forget about what you seen Joyce do to him. Joe Joyce is a different breed. He beat up Dubois too. So Takum ain't easy. Joe Joyce has to move up that level, Joshua. And that's the thing. He's not moved up his entire career. This is why, like I said, the comment that was made by Fish is IQ. You have to agree with his ring IQ because he ain't fought the guys that give him that IQ. You think Canelo would be where he was if he hadn't gotten there and fought a guy like Floyd? That gave him a lot of lessons, bro. Fighting Floyd Mayweather. You could even tell in the way his style developed that's where you get the ring IQ. Manny Pacquiao. You got to see all of these good fighters and get in there and fight them. Manny Pacquiao got 9 losses. Doesn't matter. He has that intelligence in the ring. He couldn't figure it out with Ugas, but that's because his body gave up on him, bro. Man, he's old. You know, Manny Pacquiao 5-6 years ago, he'd have beat the living shit out of Ugas. I don't care what anybody say. He would have beat him up.
I think he would have beat him 2 years ago.
Yeah, he would have beat him. So, you know, Befre says Dubois is food for. Oh man, Philippe, that's my guy. Philippe Hergovich, he will beat Dubois down. You understand? Beat him down. You know, I want to see Befre. I want to see Hergovich and Joe. Because I like Joe Joyce, old slow Joe is my guy, boy. I like that. That's a fight I like. Joe and Philippe.
Joe Molasses.
Joe Molasses. Joe Molasses Joyce.
Well, you know the crazy. It's crazy because he's so slow, but he hits you.
His feet, man. It's his feet. Like he has slower hands, but he has good feet. So he's finding himself in the right position, you know. Footwork is very, very important. Fish says McGuigan is a hitter coach rather than a movement style. He should have stayed with Tibbs or gone with Peter Fury. He should get the hell away from Frank Warren. That's what he should do. You may be right about the coaching, but you got to get away from Frank Warren. The coaches are just showing them how to fight, Fish. It's Frank setting them up in these fugazi fights. Oh, okay, Demu. Okay. What's good, Demu? All right. You didn't change the name. I know. I didn't know that was you, dog. What's good? Fish says 100. You finally agree with me, Fish? Oh my gosh, it's a miracle. It's a good day. I'm gonna have a good day today. Fish agrees. Everyone was saying that Dubois was ready for smoke with a. Hell no, I wasn't. Not everyone. I was saying y'all gotta be crazy. Joshua, remember, I said everybody said Dubois was gonna put Joe Joyce away. I said, you crazy. Joe Joyce gonna stop Daniel Dubois. You talking about Joshua, Fury, Wilder, man. Deontay Wilder, the way that boy leaves his head on center line, all the Fish and y'all UK nuts talking all that nonsense about Wilder, Dubois. It was one of y'all two. Don't even, I can't remember. Deontay Wilder would knock that dude slam. That dude don't get his head off center line. That right hand comes so fast too. Dubois slow too. He's not fast.
He leaves his big ass head out there for Wilder. You get taken off.
That's target practice for Deontay Wilder. That fool will knock him slam out. Wilder, Dillian White, Tyson Fury beats him up. I don't know if Tyson stops him, but Tyson beats him up. Joshua stops him. Like, Dubois ain't ready for that level of competition.
I believe Tyson Fury will stop
him. He could. He's just too irresponsible, bro. He's too irresponsible. Put him in with Washington. Yeah. Gerald Washington. There you go. It would have been better than this fight, AOPS. I'm with that. I guarantee you Gerald would have took him 6 or 7 rounds at least. This
you know it'll be an interesting fight with him. Adam Kanaki.
Kanaki might beat him, but that would be a good. I would like to see that.
Kanaki will make him fight.
Because Nathan Garner was making a fight, but he caught Nathan and put him down. You know, I think it'll go similar like that. Kanaki fight with Kanaki would be similar to Nathan Garner. Well, fight old man Robert Helenius. Hey, Helenius still dangerous, especially for a guy like Dubois. G-Man says, I can't. Ishida Fuji beat him via split decision. Yeah, with GGG. There it goes. It was GGG that stopped the fool, bro. There you go. Thank you, G, man. Yeah, man. Look, man. Dubois just need to get away from Frank. That's what it all boils down to, guys. He needs to get the hell away from Frank Warren, or he's not gonna have much of a career. Daniel Dubois versus Dominic Brazil would be interesting. He'll knock Dominic Brazil out. Dominic Brazil is worse than Dubois. Only thing the Dominic Brazil, he's slow, bro. He's slower than Dubois.
Talking about molasses, he's slower than molasses.
He is slow, bro. Daniel Dubois would knock Brazil out. I don't think that's a test. I think that's another show. That's another Dubois show.
You know, it's a good matchup for him. The guy that beat Dominic Brazil.
Nah, Joyce didn't Joyce fight him? He already beat him up.
This kid that beat Dominic Brazil in the last fight.
Oh yeah. No, I was talking about Joshua Littlejohn's comment. He said, "I know Takum ain't no joke." I mentioned it because I know Joyce is fighting him next. Didn't they fight? Didn't he already stop him?
Put him in that auto wallet.
No, Otto Wallin beats him.
Those are the guys he needs to fight.
Yeah, it is.
Fight those guys.
Yeah, I think Otto Wallin beats him. He needs to, like I said, like the Gerald Washingtons, these guys, he needs to move up and then fight like Wallin and but right now I think Wallin beats him. Michael Hunter beats him, Hergovich beats him. He's not ready for these guys, bro. I fear the odds for Dubois because he really should have been at Tokyo getting elite experience. Oh, he should have, man. It's Frank Warren, like he said in Tokyo. Hey, are you crazy, man? Putting them in with Wilder is child abuse.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wilder in his career.
Dubois there with Wilder's child abuse. Yeah, for sure, dog. It is. Wilder would teach that man calligraphy. Y'all crazy, man. He said maybe he's not at Luis. Hey, man, put him in there with old man Luis. I'm not on that Luis Ortiz hype, bro. I think Luis Ortiz is always on his way out. Put him in there with him. If you can't beat Luis Ortiz, you might as well hang the gloves up, young kid. Dang, Cassius Chaney next. Who the hell is Cassius Chaney? Somebody I'm not even up on.
Luis Ortiz is 50.
Yeah, he is. 50, 52.
He fought Pernell Whitaker.
Hey, man, Ortiz old as goddamn Santa Claus. G-Man Boxer says, I love to see Dubois beat. I would like to see it. If he could get past Otto Wallin, G-Man, but I would pick Otto Wallin in that fight. Did you see the way Otto Wallin beat up Dominic Brazil? I mean, he didn't stop him, but it was just a one-sided fight. Like, he outboxed him totally. I think it could be similar in the Dubois. If he could take Dubois' onslaught and stay, not get hurt, because I'm sure, like, Dubois could beat Otto Wallin. He could stop him because Fury hurt him. Fury, we know, I'm comfortable to say that Dubois hits harder than Tyson Fury, so he could win. But I would pick Wallin to outbox him, split decision, man. I would be picking Wallin in that fight. Helenius got a jab. He'll beat Dubois. He could, yeah. That's why I said, old man Helenius, man. That jab, look, the problem with Dubois is if you have a decent jab, that's why I said another one was Brian Jennings, because he has a good jab. That's the problem. This is what he needs to work on. Getting off center line, whether it be with his feet, which he doesn't have good feet, or his head movement, which he doesn't have good. Those are the things. His defense is he's not going to beat the better guys with his abysmal defense, bro. It's just not going to happen. Dubois versus Big Farmer Miller. Yeah, clean.
In that fight Saturday, even though he beat that guy in the first round, that guy landed like 2 wild shots on him.
Yeah.
Off the ropes. Yeah. Like snap his head back. Yeah, like, wow.
No way, Harrico. No way. Hergovich stops him.
Nobody wants to fight Hergovich.
No. Miller needs to level at Viagra. Y'all crazy. All right, man. I'm getting ready to get out of here. We at that hour mark. Martin Ramos, appreciate you, brother, joining me. All right, so You guys
Appreciate
are.
you having.
I always say this is how we're going to end the show from now on. And I found this clip. If you start your morning off with a good laugh, it's a good chance you have a good day. Even if you stomp your toe getting out of bed, you know, that could spiral and you have a bad day. But if you get a good laugh, it could change all that. So we're going to end our show every day with a good laugh. At least it's things I find funny. And somebody told me I'm easily amused, and I am because I like to laugh. But these clips are just funny to me, guys. So I'm going to show this clip to end this one. And check it out, man. It was funny to me. I hope you guys get a kick out of it, too. All right, here we go. Here we go. Oh man, one more time, guys. One more.
That's disgusting.
Oh, man, it's so crazy. Hey, appreciate you, Martin. Appreciate everybody coming out. And y'all know how I always in this thing. For the love of sports, let's talk about it. Peace.
Peace.